Right, welcome back to Adventure 82. If you watched the last video, you'll know I forgot to make an ending. And because the ending of the last one and the beginning of this one were in the same place, I basically didn't do either, because I'm a twit. So, as I say, welcome back. We're about to go down to Don Bridge. I'm not going to show you the staircase of this house. It's not interesting. So yeah, we'll now cut to me on the railway walk. Right, so we'll work our way down here now to Don Bridge. First thing I've noticed as I'm coming down here is that there's quite a nice, like a pond there with the reeds. I'm pretty sure that's good for nature. That's pretty. I wonder if that was there at the time. But the other thing I've noticed is there's another random big open area here, and again this time it looks like access again, but this time it's stairs. So I can't help but wonder whether these were put in, these big open areas, whether they were put in as sidings and these were access for the workers, or whether there was something else. Although unlike the other big opening that we found before that was on both sides, this one's only on one side, and it does, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it dips down quite a lot. So I'm not sure what these big openings are for, but they're definitely purposeful. And they're definitely from back when the railway was there, because you've got the granite borders on them here. So so whether this granite border is actually, well, I know the granite border's from the railway, but whether the bit on the other side, this bit, which I found with the stairs there, is to do with the railway or not, I'm not 100% certain. But I'll keep moving our way up here. I know there's more than one access path to the railway on the way up here, because they had an access path from what most people call like the front of the elephant park, where there's now like a gravel car park. There was an access road from there, path more than a road, to be honest, it was never paved, down onto here, which you'll see, which is quite overgrown now. That has something a bit odd on it too, actually. But also there's another one again before you get to the station, and then obviously you have the actual access, which would have been from the now elephant park directly on to the station. So we'll move our way down here, see if there's any other interesting railway relics to find, and yeah, Don Bridge is an interesting one because it's named after the bridge which is just after the station. That's another one like the one that was in the previous video that people go over every day with the tunnel. Like I said in the previous video, that was on, I think it's called Lamont Laveau is the proper name, I just know it's Opens Hill. The people go over every day and they don't realise why it's there. Or at least a lot of people don't. But right, we'll work our way down here. I'll meet you up a bit further up down the line, and I'll show you that access path I was telling you about, and then we'll go from there. Right, so I think it'd be a good time to give you a bit more information about Don Bridge. So Don Bridge itself was named after, or was going to be called General Don's Bridge originally, named after General Don's farm, which it was built right next to at the time, which was going to be used as a seaweed depot originally, but that was never actually built, the seaweed depot. It was also used because at the time the horse racing was down that way, obviously around where it's now Kennevay Park and stuff, is where the horse racing track used to be. So people used to get on there and go hop on the train down to Don Bridge to go and watch the horse racing, which was very popular back then. So, for example, one weekend back in 1921, they had a horse race on at the weekend, and the train that day carried over 12,000 passengers just to that horse race. It's amazing. But there was another reason why it was such a popular station. But before I tell you that, this here, this is that original access path I was telling you about, that came down to the station. And you can see here that this bit really hasn't been built on. It was one of the couple of access paths they built. But you can see what I mean. If I come out here, just how overgrown this is now. So you can see where people have walked down here, but there's not many anymore. But I just thought I'd show you that so you know where it is. Right, if we go back down here, I'll continue telling you about the station. Okay. Right, so the other interesting thing I was going to tell you about Don Bridge before I showed you the access path was that it was actually quite popular for two reasons, not only with the general public but actually with the military. Because with the public and the tourists it was very close to Sombrellas Bay, and it's popular for the military because it was close to St Peter's Barracks. So it wasn't uncommon for the actual military, the Jersey militia it would have been back then, to actually hop on the train from St Albans up to Don Bridge and then march all the way to St Peter's Barracks from there, which I thought was interesting. I wouldn't have thought the military would have been allowed to use the train, but there you go. Right, as you can see, we've got a road up ahead. You can probably see the cars passing. That just across the road there is our end station for today. So I think, with the exception of showing you the last access path that they had, it's come down to Don Bridge, which also makes me wonder whether they must have had some kind of walkway outside of the road, the railroad if you're American, railway if you're English, to make sure people don't get hit by the train. But this here, that's the other access path. This one obviously is still used as a path, not for the railway anymore, but it's still used as a path down from, there's a car park just over that way for the elephant park. Right, so anyway, we shall get across this road and then we'll finish off at Don Bridge and we'll have a look round. Right, so we're almost at Don Bridge, but before we do, we just found another one of the access paths. This is the last of them. Did have a lot of access for one station. Anyway, There's the telltale sign that this path was definitely accessed, because it's an end one again if you look. So the bolts are on the other side, the wire didn't go across. So that would have been the end of the concrete post. Right, so if we go off this way then, back off the access path, we'll go up this way. And then we're on to what is Don Bridge. So Don Bridge is literally across the road. So your train would have come out here and would have crossed this road originally back in the day. And would have done so for many, many years. So this was a very interesting station, very large station area. You've got your granite borders again. But if we go down here, right, this is the site of Don Bridge Station. Over this side, you have your access path down from the top of the bridge. Where the hedge is now, that's kind of in the middle of the two paths, would have been your platform. Well, it's a very long platform actually. It went from here, where it ends here, all the way up to the bridge at the other end. So I'm assuming that was for safety purposes, to make sure you could get off and onto the street safely. I only had the one platform, and then you had a passing loop. So where I'm stood now would have been the main track straight all the way through, with your platform, which you would have been aware you would have been able to get on and off the train. The other side here, where now you have a granite border and a load of hedges going all the way up, that would have been a passing loop that went alongside the train while it was at the station, came back in before the bridge, and then it went off under the bridge there. So I'd imagine probably around about here, just as you're coming off the road, they would have had a set of points that would have separated it, so it could go either straight up or off onto the passing loop. But this is obviously, been that's a very long platform. I mean, when you look at the platforms on the other stations that we have passed on the way so far, none of them were this long. None of them. So I think that must have been the longest platform on the line. I think it's even longer than the Corbière one, to be honest. But yeah, I think it's quite strange such a big station also has only one way to get on and off. So I wonder if the passing loop allowed people to get off both ways. They must have timed those trains really carefully for that to work. Anyway, we shall now go. I want to actually go over this way a bit now the bicycles have gone. So roughly about here, where I am now in the middle here of the platform, you would have had a proper station brick building. A lot of them were wood. This would have had a brick building along here, where you would have been able to get your tickets, and there was a small waiting area for the train. But for what it was, quite a substantial station. But then I suppose when you consider, like I was saying on the way up, about how you had the people used to come up here for the horse races, military using the train to get up as far as this and then marching up to the St. Peter's barracks, and then you've also got people getting off to go to the beach, which is the other side of me here, through the what's now a children's park. Would have been probably one of the busiest stations on the line, I would imagine, back then, because we all know how much the Victorians liked the beach. Anyway, so that's the Don Road station site. Not a hell of a lot left, but at least I've been able to show you where things were. But let's see, well, it shouldn't be too difficult to find somewhere nice to finish off this video. Quiet might be a slightly different issue, but nice should be alright. It should be easy enough. But right, I'll see you in a minute to finish this one off. Right, well that's it for another video. Next one we'll be going from here. We'll have a look at the Don Bridge behind us, which is what the station's named after, as well as Don Farm that was next door. Next station we'll be stopping off at, and the next video will be one called Blanche's Banks, I believe is how it's pronounced. I'm Jersey and I can't figure out how to pronounce it. That's appalling. I can't figure out whether I'm supposed to pronounce it English or French. Maybe I'll figure it out by the time I make the video. Anyway, until then, please like and subscribe. And if you've been with me so far and you've watched all my other videos, thank you very much for bearing with me. I know some of them haven't been maybe as sharp as they should have been, but this is as much a learning curve for me as probably is for you about the actual railway itself. So anyway, thank you very much. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.